And you've got to first, you've got to get mad. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it! My life has value. And you've got to that freedom ring.
Every time you buy something or don't, you're casting a vote.
And you've got to that freedom ring. My life has value. And you've got to that freedom ring. And you've got to
Darla, last night, Sacramento police arrested 23 Occupy Sacramento protesters who stayed at Cesar Chavez Park after the 11 p.m. curfew. This morning, one Occupy Sacramento protester remained in the park, up in a tree, tied to the trunk. We can only guess that police didn't look up when they were making those arrests last night and early this morning. Almost 100 Occupy Sacramento protesters have been arrested since the rallies began in October. But the owner of a neighboring business says the protesters, well, he says they haven't been a problem.
People that have been here haven't caused any problems downtown. They, seem to have been everything fine. I guess it's just at nighttime when they have to leave the park seems to be the only time there's any confrontations. But as a whole, they've been very, we haven't had any problems with them. Our business is across the street.
Now, many of those protesters arrested earlier this year go on trial next month.
Tonight, Sacramento police ready for what could be a confrontation. Rowena Shattuck's live at Cesar Chavez Park. Activist Cindy Sheehan and others, they want to get arrested, Ro.
Well, Steph, the police are ready to go. They are just down the street. There's a handful of them. And if things go bad after 11 o'clock, they will be ready to take people to jail. Now, this is a First Amendment party by the occupiers. If you could take a look behind me here, there's about a couple of dozen of them. Now, they say that their First Amendment rights don't end at 11 o'clock, so they are willing to be taken into custody if need be. And we are joined tonight here. The movement is joined by Cindy Sheehan. She came all the way from the Bay Area. And Cindy, this is the second time that you've been out in Sacramento. I believe you've been to Buffalo, New York. You're back here in Sacramento again. Why Sacramento, and why is Sacramento important to you?
Well, I've been here several times, but Sacramento is the closest to my home in Vacaville, and I think that these protests should be local, and I think that that's where all the change is going to happen on a very local level. So, and this is a big country with a diversity of issues, and things that happen in Sacramento don't happen in other places. So
thanks. We'll be talking to you more a little bit too. And also, one of the organizers explained there's two kinds of occupiers. The hardcore occupiers that are here all the time. They're basically across the street at City Hall. Many of them are homeless, but they're also the working occupiers, those that have regular jobs that come out here and join the movement. Now, we will be standing by here at 11 o'clock to see just what happens between the occupiers and police.
All right, Ro, we'll check back in with you in about... Occupy Sacramento protester is taking his message to new heights. And when I say new heights, I literally mean new heights. He's cooped up about 20 feet in the air in a tree at Cesar Chavez Park. And he's saying, right now anyway, he's not coming down. As Alyssa Harrington reports for us, though, his next stop, very well, may be jail.
Looking at Joe, an Occupy Sacramento protester who's been occupying this magnolia tree in Cesar Chavez Park since last night.
Joe is expressing himself.
Police feel otherwise. They say he's breaking the law. Joe was in the park past curfew, which is 11 p.m., and is resisting arrest. But police have no immediate plans to force him down.
Our primary concern is safety. So his safety and the officer's safety. We don't want to put anybody up there that's going to possibly that's going to fall down, or one of our officers that may get hurt.
So instead, they'll wait. They've set up a perimeter around the tree and have cops monitoring the scene 24/7. Joe's equipped with rope, a blanket, layers of clothes, and he says enough food and water to last him several days. If he runs out, he'll be in trouble. Police are not allowing anybody to give him food supplies while he's up there. Some occupiers bought him a travel box of Starbucks coffee, but were denied.
The defense then became that he's inside of a perimeter, much like a suspect that was fleeing the scene of a crime, and that if we were to give him food or drink or anything along those lines, that we're aiding, a suspect or a criminal.
I tried talking to Joe. Hey, Joe. But he said he did not want to speak with any media. Meanwhile, his presence has attracted a crowd to the downtown sidewalk.
I don't know what he expects to accomplish. I mean, just one person.
You think any other protesters will start occupying trees?
If I can get some rope, I'll be doing it.
It's unclear just how long Joe will stay up there, but when he's done occupying that tree, he'll likely be occupying a jail cell.
That was Alyssa Harrington reporting. Joe is facing charges of resisting arrest and violating curfew in the park. And if he has to go to the bathroom, which of course is inevitable, he could also be faces charges of urinating in public or indecent exposure.
New this morning, Sacramento police have arrested more than 20 Occupy protesters at Cesar Chavez Plaza.
Yeah, and that is where we find KCRA3's Brian Hickey's live with the situation police are dealing with right now.
Yeah, right now they've got one man left, and it's not going to be an easy arrest. He is up in a tree. That's where he went when the arrest started happening here last night around 1 a.m. when they came in and started cracking down on the protesters who were violating the curfew here at Cesar Chavez Park. And that guy has tied himself to the tree and has been up there ever since. And there's a couple of police officers down here on the ground that are waiting. One, in case he falls out, they can call for medical attention. And two, they can also get him some help. And that is the sound of the protests happening earlier tonight. That was just after 11 o'clock when protesters came out in direct violation of the curfew, the 11 p.m. curfew here at Cesar Chavez Park, saying that the First Amendment doesn't end at 11 and they plan to practice their First Amendment right of protesting here in the park. Officers have a zero-tolerance policy on that curfew violation and came out, about 30 of them, in riot gear, surrounded the protesters who locked arms around a statue here at Cesar Chavez and said they would not leave. After giving one more warning, just before 1 a.m., officers started making arrests.
They've taken away our First Amendment right out of this park, and we want it back. And we've always wanted it. We never went nowhere. It's just us taking a stand.
The section is that the park closes at a certain hour, so it's a city code section that we enforce. Overall, the Occupy Sacramento protesters have been very passive overall.
Most of the arrests were peaceful. However, some of the protesters will be facing resisting arrest charges on top of their misdemeanor violation of the city code here because they did not stand up on their own and did not comply with the officers. But otherwise, officers said it was very peaceful as they took 21 people into custody last night. Now, back out here live this morning, you still have the man named Joe sitting in the tree, and police said they will make a decision on what to do with Joe later in the morning. But for now, again, they continue to keep an eye on him and say that they do have teams trained in extracting people from high places, and if the word is given, they will come out here along with assistance from the fire department and attempt to get him out of the tree. But all of that will be decided later this morning. Live here at Cesar Chavez, I'm Brian Hickey, KCRA 3 reports.
This away and go get some water.
Good, how are you?
No. Issues and things that happen in Sacramento that happen in
Thanks for talking to more a little bit too. And also, one of the organizers explained there's two kinds of occupiers. The hardcore occupiers that are here all the time and things across the street.
Everybody, all families have issues. I have a grandbaby who's having open heart surgery in a couple weeks, and I can't go to jail because that jail is filthy and disgusting, and I got check out the and
Hey, can we start heading out this way?
I guess it's against the law to climb the trees?
Apparently.
Stand around saying the whole world is watching.
I'm not recording.
Oh.
I know you do it. You're Bear Grylls. illegal too.
Is it literally if I plan to go back on my pallet?
That's some serious shit.
Because I will come back for my pallet.
Yeah, I would.
I'm not claiming ownership to that pallet, but if I could, come back and get it.
Yeah.
That holds in the moment of the Constitution of the United States of America. We the people hold the fierce urgency of now. They're telling us and daring us to stand on this First Amendment right. This First Amendment right is about the Occupy movement. Without the First Amendment right, we're not able to turn that corner that holds to the democracy of this nation. With that right for free speech.
Do you want me to record this?
It is now at the 11 o'clock hour.
He wants to know if he can stream.
Yes, it is okay to stream now. We are going to go ahead and start a figure-8 pattern by walking this way and then coming back across Cesar Chavez and going through the park this way and continue the figure-8. Savvy? Let's do it.
It is my duty to fight.
It is my duty to fight.
It is my duty to win.
It is my duty to win.
We must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our
It is
chains.
my duty to fight.
It is my duty to fight.
It is my duty to win.
It is my duty to win.
We must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one
We
another.
have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our
It is
chains.
my duty to fight.
It is my duty to fight.
It is my duty to win.
It is my duty to
We
win.
must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Thank you.
We miss you, Sarah Beth.
Ain't no party like an Occupy party because the Occupy party won't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no party like an Occupy party
Because an Occupy party won't stop. Say what?
Ain't no
Party like an Occupy party because an Occupy party won't stop. Say what? Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful.
Whose park?
Our park.
Whose park?
Our park. Our streets. Our streets. Our park.
Tree.
Our tree. Our park. Our park. Our police. Our police. Our police. Our tent. Our sleeping bag. Our sleeping bag. Our protest sign.
Whose country?
Our country.
Whose country?
Our country. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. Police are the 99%. Police are the 99%. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Police are the 99%. Police are the 99%. Police are the 99%. Police are the 99%. Police are the 99%.
Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. O-C-C-U-P-Y. What's that spell? Occupy. O-C-C-U-P-Y. What's that spell? All we are saying is give peace a chance. Is it too high? All we are saying, give peace a chance. I remember the first time I really understood what it was to be an American, what it was to be a patriot. I was just a kid. A million years ago, it seems sometimes, maybe 12. I was reading Mark Twain, and he wrote something that struck me right down to the core. Something so powerful, so true, that it changed my life. I memorized it so I could repeat it to myself over and over across the years. He wrote, "In a republic, who is the country? Is it the government, which is for the moment in the saddle? Why, the government is merely a temporary servant. It cannot be its prerogative to determine what is right and what is wrong, and decide who is a patriot and who is not. Its function is to obey orders, not originate them. Who then is the country? Is it the newspaper? Is it the pulpit? Why, these are mere parts of the country, not the whole of it. They have not command. They have only their little share in the command. In a monarchy, the king and his family are the country. In a republic, it is the common voice of the people, each of you, for himself, by himself, and on his own responsibility must speak. It is a solemn and weighty responsibility, and not lightly to be flung aside at the bullying of pulpit, press, government, or the empty catchphrases of politicians. Each must for himself decide what is right and what is wrong, and which course is patriotic and which isn't. You cannot shirk this and be a man. To decide it against your convictions is to be an unqualified and inexcusable traitor, both to yourself and to your country. Let men label you as they may. If you alone, of all the nation, shall decide one way, and that way be the right way, according to your convictions of the right, you have done your duty to yourself and by your country. Hold up your head. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Doesn't matter what the press says. Doesn't matter what the politicians or mobs say. Doesn't matter if the whole country decides something wrong is right. This nation was founded on one principle above all else. The requirement that we stand up for what we believe, no matter the odds or the consequences. When the mob and the press and the whole world tell you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who that was? That was Captain America. It takes a fictional character in this country nowadays to speak right and to shame these people.
We shall not be moved.
Oh no, we shall not be moved. No, no,
we shall not be moved.
We shall not be moved.
When you're not strong, shall be your friend. I hope you carry on. Oh, it won't be long, but I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Let's call
Maybe. Oh, maybe.
All of you. Where's my inspiration go? Without these people, all of you people, we ain't got nothing. And if we keep doing this, more people will join us. The more people that join us, the more people that know what's going on. The more people that know what's really going on in their country, the better they know their rights, the better this movement will work.
We built this city on rock and roll. Everybody knows lyrics to that song.
Is it warmer up there?
Yes, I have shelter from the leaves.
Is it nice and comfortable up there?
Yes. Do you feel like your life is threatened up there? No. Do you feel like you're committing a crime? No.
Are you there peacefully?
Yes.
You have to pee yet.
Say we light the tree on fire. Smoke them out.
It says on it, pallet declared abandoned. Would it elect as evidence?
He stole my pallet?
Yes.
No!
Back to the statue.
Driveway over there. So you got about 15 cars and about one paddy wagon and one big CSU. What's an SU? CSI? That one. Oh. Okay, they're going to need a second paddy wagon.
I wasn't worried. Remember, we are your brothers and sisters. We are here for you. We go to work every day to pay our taxes so you can come and make it on your overtime. We thank you. We appreciate everything you do for us.
You're very,
Wow, this is nuts.
extraordinary. They need love. They need love.
They do need a lot of love.
For those of you who cannot see it, they've taped off on their block now.
This is the stand.
Love you. D, starting with you, can I get your name?
Amy Anderson.
Can I get your name? Robert.
Yes, we can.
Can I get your name?
Faygo. Candle.
Yes, we can.
Can I get your name?
Cesar Aguirre.
Sean. Yes, we can.
Like eye drops and stuff.
Can I get your name, please?
Kim.
Yes, we can.
Yes,
we can. Yes, we can.
Can I get your name, please?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Can I get your name, please?
Yes, we can.
Greg Adams.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Can I please get your name?
Brother Carter.
Sean.
Gary.
David.
Steven.
Morgan.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want it?
Now.
What do we need?
Justice.
What do we need it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want it?
Now.
What do we need?
Justice.
What do we need it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want it?
Now.
times more, dude.
So there you have the riot police plus 2 paddy wagons. I don't know if they have enough. History says, holy crap, they have brought more officers.
Let's watch it from
My back is too bad for
Yeah, how you doing? They're allowed to be here?
That's fine.
These individuals? They're not allowed to be in the park after 11 p.m.
How come they're not doing nothing?
Yeah, we'll see what's happening. There are a lot of cops over there. There's over, 70 cops over there. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I didn't take none tonight.
You just completely shut down the entire street. I don't know what's going on, why they have so many cops for this amount of people. It's nuts. Oh, sorry.
I'm Sergeant Mike Nichols from the Sacramento Police Department. This park closed at 11 p.m. It is now 12:45 p.m. You are in violation of Sacramento City Code 12.72.090. You are hereby directed to immediately disperse from the park. If you do not leave immediately, you will be arrested.
Wait your turn to talk, and maybe we'll hear what you say.
There was no dispersal. I heard nothing.
I heard nothing over here. Cesar Chavez has killed his mother.
We are not letting go. We are not letting go.
Push us out.
We are not letting go. We are not letting go. We are not letting go.
We are not letting go.
We are not letting go.
We are not letting go.
We are not letting go.
We are not letting go.
We are not letting go.
Justice! When do we need it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we need? Justice! When do we need it? Now! What do we want? Justice!
There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 behind the paddy wagon. That's probably another 10 in front. That's 27 police vehicles. They usually ride 50% of the time they ride double. Give a bit of fudge mathematics in there, and that's approximately 50 officers who are here now. This has never happened. There's overflow to a point where so much overflow that they can't get on the street. Going back to the group now who has linked arms. For those who were counting with me, I counted 23 individuals who are in the linked arms. Hey Les, what's your head count? Les, 23. Cres confirms the 23 count. There are 23 individuals who are linked arms. There are some officers. Officer Leon, some bike cops, the legal observer, or their legal observer.
Get ready.
No, we shall not be moved. No, we shall not be moved just like a tree.
Ricky, there has been no dispersal. There has been no dispersal. They have not asked us to leave. They assembled as a military without any.
I was just over there talking to them. They're all very angry.
No dispersal.
There you have it from people in the line. There has been no dispersal yet. This is actually unique. They usually give their dispersal before the cops come, all formed up and stuff. Good thing we have a 6-foot tripod and a 6-foot person, which I think added together makes 12 feet. Not sure. Somebody fact check that. Somebody on the internet fact check that.
Ricky, can you give my stuff to CK?
Okay.
Nobody cares.
Right on.
Hey, can someone go count the troops?
I will.
Whatever they're gonna do is everywhere.
For those of you who are curious about the jail conditions here, Sandy Sheehan, whether you like her or not, has said that it's one of the worst jails ever.
Danny Garza, G-A-R-Z-A. And then tell me again, what are you doing out here tonight? I'm here supporting the Bill of Rights and the First Amendment. We have the right to peaceably assemble, we have the right to freedom of speech and to petition our government for the redress of grievances. That's not just in a federal constitution, that's in our state constitution.
You have not. You are my soldier.
Actually, people on the screen have a better idea.
Are you insane? You're a maniac. Why are you attacking this individual? What's going on? Arrest this man.
How many people are getting raped right now? How many people? You're standing in your fucking ass.
Why are you attacking this citizen? Why are you attacking this citizen? Why are you attacking this citizen? That's a fucking thing.
Yeah, for those of you who are curious, SN and R are up there, so that's thank God for them. I believe they have been one of the most neutral thus far.
No protest! No peaceful protest! Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest!
I can hear screams.
Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest! How can you witness this? How can you witness this? They're hurting me! They're banging my hands! I said they don't need to!
It's called socioeconomic oppression.
We never sleep.
Really
A real soldier never sleeps.
You're all very handsome.
Are you a real soldier?
Except Grumpy McGrumpy.
Are you a soldier?
Never been in the military.
Grumpy man, I don't want to. Dress you kind of cute.
Freedom of speech.
I wish I had gloves on. Because
They'd have higher regard for the Constitution and the First Amendment had they been in the military.
Occupy! Occupy! Our park! Our park! Our city! Our city! Our police!
They have to give it to you. This will all be on the news to shame them in the morning. To shame what they're doing right now.
They do not if it's the right situation, actually. Apparently.
Love you, David! You identified yourself.
Yep.
Peaceful protest! Peaceful protest! Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition
the government for a redress of grievances. This is a constitutional act we are taking right here.
I have grievances.
We have urgent grievances that have not been remedied by the official channels through the protests we've done for years on any cause. There's a legitimate need for us to maintain spaces that are
the paddy wagon.
We all need to help each other, and that's what this is about. Please join us as soon as you can. We mean you no harm.
Here we go. Security squad, clean squad, man. Low peacefully, boy. We're gonna whoop your ass.
Peaceful protest!
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 The individual that was just arrested is Morgan. He is actually from Davis. Awesome guy. Does some of the video work for us? I believe he is a student. The statue that they have surrounded is a statue of Cesar Chavez. And like him, we are currently here peacefully protesting to redress our grievances. And it's really hard when there are 50 officers here arresting people after such an hour.
Here's my IOU.
The person being arrested now is D. D is a mom. D is in charge of our hospitality. She has spent probably close to $1,000 of her own money to feed those who have chosen to occupy, many of which are homeless and unable to get food because there is a sad lack of homeless shelter in Sacramento. Loaves and Fishes is the closest one. Mike Jack! Who is going to risk arrest is Amy. She is a mother. She provides for her family. She has been arrested before for displaying her First Amendment and right to speech.
And she goes on trial next Tuesday.
And she is one of the individuals who go on trial next Tuesday, the 13th.
Raise your right hand. Four children she takes care of every day. She goes to work. She pays your paycheck.
The next person who is facing arrest is April. College student now at, I don't remember. She does a lot of our live stream media and just random things. Yep. Mic check! For the record! Officers found!
articulate
The implications!
This is a young lady who stands up for your rights. Who pays taxes.
This is April. Some of you might recognize her from the live stream. She is a student. She is an employed student.
You're custody on the grounds of an arrest that you're not even explaining to me.
Let her go.
They have a right under 841. Penal Code 841. They have to tell you why you're being arrested. Penal Code 841.
I did not.
Penal Code 841. They have to.
I'm so cold.
They're not even old.
Why would you want to put him there?
So
so much easier and cheaper to send him out of the
we shall over.
They work hard at the West too.
Hello.
I'm Officer Cres of the Sacramento Police Department. I'm informing you that you were under arrest for Sac City Code 12.72.
What exactly does the code state?
You will please accompany these police officers who will process your arrest. If you do not voluntarily accompany them and you remain in a passive position, you may be subject to an additional arrest charge.
Also, what is the definition of passive resistance?
If your passive resistance continues, you will be subjected to a control hold that will inflict a degree of pain. I repeat, we will not lift or carry you. You are under arrest and you are being asked to cooperate and accompany these police officers. You will additionally be charged for 148 PC, which is resisting or delaying arrest if you don't voluntarily do this.
Okay, I have a question though beforehand. I have a right to know what it is on what charges I'm being taken on. So what exactly is the definition of passive resistance? And you failed to inform me of what the crime being committed was. Ow, this hurts! So I'm saying before. My check! For the record! These officers failed to articulate the implication of the crime that they're accusing me of committing. I have no idea what way you're, you're like bending me the wrong way. They don't bend that way. They failed to carefully articulate the implications of the crime being committed. The way I see it right now, the only victim in this crime is me. Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
All right, April, right?
Yeah.
We're going to walk over to Witkin. She's going to look quick and do all your paperwork.
I can't feel my arms.
Okay.
Does that count as assault?
Nope.
No? Why is that?
I'm not really good at arguing.
No!
You can yell if you want to, okay?
That's okay. No, I don't mean to yell. I just want to ask you about things because they read me the legal code. And I asked them, well, was that you? Okay. So I asked you what it was exactly, what exactly was the crime that I was committing. You read me the code, but what exactly was the crime?
I'll explain it to you again, April, but here's the thing. We can't really, all I can do is give you the admonishment to the best of my ability. I can't really be any more detailed than what I just read.
Wait a minute. So you're taking me into custody on the grounds of an arrest that you're not even explaining to me?
Officer, what is your badge number? 841. They have to tell you why you're being arrested.
But they didn't explain it to me. I did not understand. I asked for a better explanation of what exactly the crime I'm committing is. But as far as I see, the only victim in this crime is me! Sorry about that.
Can you expect to speak for me, April?
Okay.
Do you have anything illegal on you? Anything coke or sharp or anything else like that?
I don't think so. I need to pull my pants up.
Still for me, okay?
My pants are falling.
I'll go ahead and turn your phone off.
Yeah.
Live stream is ran for your laptop, which happens to be in a bag. Sorry about that. But those of you who are just joining the stream, this is coming live from Cesar Chavez Plaza, which is in downtown Sacramento. It is the location of Occupy Sacramento. Next arrest is occurring.
Peaceful protest! 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 Peaceful. Patriot.
Another American patriot. Thank you for patriot.
Bring down the federal reserve.
Easy, hey, don't even do that. Come on, make your mama proud. She's disgusted with your behavior. Stop my hand up. Stop hurting him.
You have to know what to use excessive force. You all.
The police are 99%. The police are 99%. The police are 99%.
Bit of irony here that I just noticed. All the vets are going to be arrested last. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I know that some of them are having a hard time sitting in the cold because it is a balmy, probably sub-zero Celsius right now. There's Amy. If you do not remember, she is the mom of 4. Has been helping us with hospitality among other things at Occupy. She is being...
David in the car. I think they put the Carter and the car. They're putting,
hey, April!
They're putting the women in there.
You're not supposed to be in there. You're supposed to be editing a video.
Who's gonna handle media?
Who's gonna draw my pictures?
Count for us has helped run food. He's been occupying with us.
Love you.
There you go, Adrian.
Ricky. April's trying to get your attention.
Bye-bye, April. See you tomorrow.
There is April getting shut in the wagon. Hopefully it gets warm in the wagon. It's kind of chilly out here. Setting the stream down for a second to swap batteries.
Human rights. Everyone has the right to freedom of peaceful assembly and association.
Also, anything you do. No, it's not sure. I'm so bad at that.
California Constitution, Article 1, Section 3. The people have the right to instruct their representatives, petition government for redress of grievances, and assemble freely to consult for the common good. Assemble freely to consult for the common good.
My daughter probably will not have a good Christmas.
Constitution of the United States. First Amendment. Congress will make no law.
Right, I was reading. Like,
everyone expects something.
This is Sean, father of 2. He runs small businesses. Been very successful even in this hard economy. That's not Karen, that's Kim. Recent college graduate, currently holds a job, not unemployed and homeless, like I swear people keep saying that we are. Extremely intelligent. She's been helping us outreach to minorities and females. She leads the teach-in on...
the oil set. You guys don't understand. Patriot! We love you! Officers, treat her good.
He's a good person. Now, guys, you guys get some camera footage of that. It's fantastic.
I can see the love in all of your eyes. Even though you moved away, I still see the love. I know you want to defend the Constitution. You don't want to defend the It's not a park, though. It's a plaza. Plaza means it's 1079 the end.
That is Greg. He is a disabled vet. Has been spending his time. He's a dad, by the way. Son is currently deployed, I believe, Navy's. I don't quite remember at the moment. He's a disabled vet. He helps us run our education. He is the one who sets up that tent with the help of others that has the sheet protectors of the stories of those who choose to occupy. It is where the library is. It is where information, non-Occupy related flyers are also stored, and also holds the history section with all the documents from Occupy, SAC so far, and OWS, I believe.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. Hey, that'll be great.
Oh, Patriot!
Yeah, take care of him. He's a veteran.
I'm glad two of you needed to arrest him, huh?
He's also...
Yeah.
Well, they're actually, I think they're just going to decide to release him. Why don't they do that with everybody?
Is that what...
Huh?
Because it's all about intimidation and
Is that what they're
wasting
going to do to
our
him and Russell in the wheelchair?
Ow, man.
But don't worry, we're not going to like we have.
Well, that's why I was trying to cross past you. I just wanted to stand right behind you. You guys are voting who's. Measuring the health of the population is awesome. But again,
my dad spent 28 years in the Air Force for something that this country doesn't give a shit about anymore.
That's right.
His current mother of one, daughter of an Air Force. I don't remember.
Daughter of an Air Force.
Yep. Serviceman. She grew up on Air Force bases. She helps run logistics or coordination, however you want to put it, which helps get report backs from all the committees and working groups so we aren't stepping on each other's toes. Extremely talented at organizing people. And yet, looks like the next person they are arresting is Russell. This has historically been an interesting situation because paddy wagons are not wheelchair accessible. There's actually been an instance where Russell was given a citation. He wheeled down to the jail, which is 2 blocks away, and they still wouldn't let him in. For those of you who are just joining us, this is coming live from downtown Sacramento at Cesar Chavez Park. This is Occupy Sacramento. What you're witnessing right now is the arrest of peaceful protesters, not campers. There are no tents in the park. If you need convincing, here you go. There's no tents whatsoever. It was a demonstration. It was a readdress of grievances. There were speeches, there was singing, there was discussion about the issues that we're facing in society and our economy. And as you can see, or maybe you can't, but approximately 50 officers are here to arrest 23 individuals who chose to remain within the park to discuss the grievances. And now you have it. We have just wasted, I have been recording for 3 hours now. I believe I started maybe 10 minutes before 11. So I would say that we spent 2 hours watching officers arrest peaceful individuals demonstrating their First Amendment. Excuse me? Right behind you?
What's his last name? I forget. His first name's Cres.
You guys solved the logistics problem.
Hey, I was just going to say, they're screwing up our whole logistics plan.
It's like it being extended. Don't worry, I just had a meeting. We talked about
it. That was Cres Vellucci. He is an Army vet. He served in Vietnam for 2 years. He now helps us run PR and Legal.
The new blue tree.
I cannot confirm what is going on visually. I cannot see. I do hear quite a bit of screaming over there.
Why are you hiding what they're doing?
That is Danny. I believe that is Danny.
What do you want me to do, Daryl? Basic civil rights.
Every day, they shouldn't be arrested.
Doesn't make you right. Doesn't make you right, buddy. Let me do it. Doesn't make you right, okay?
We can all be wrong.
Well, at the present time, we appear to all be wrong, don't we?
Yep, nothing seems to be working.
Highway's not working.
Actually, you do not operate at that temperature. That was Danny. Veteran of the Navy. He has been out here with us quite a few nights. He's been helping us run many things. And right here is Russell.
Hey, Russell.
Hey, Russell. Do they have a ramp this time? The city is spending. For those of you who are not in Sacramento area, an arena is about to be built at the tune of over $250 million. Quick math there, that could pay for 6,000 teachers, or approximately 500 teachers to educate individuals through the course of their kindergarten to high school graduation. Truth be told, I think that's a better use of money, but only the city council knows. Hey Greg, hey. How you doing?
Good, good.
A bit cold?
Yeah, a little cold, a little stiff.
A little stiff? Yeah. You feeling okay?
My body's had its relief fixing lemons.
Welcome back, Greg.
I kind of like this.
How did they get there? Being escorted. That is Cesar. He helps with, he's a jack of all trades. He helps with anything and everything that needs to be done. Including, I believe, helping clean the bathrooms. Remind you, there have been accusations that we are making the park the worst place. I guess it could be true from the point of view of the city council or whoever is giving these orders. But it's been yeah. Okay. There's Greg. He was earlier cited and I guess
released. Yeah. Released. They took my picture, gave me a citation, which I've got in my pocket. I have to say the Sacramento police are very decent. They realized that I was disabled, and after sitting there for a while, I was having a lot of muscle spasms, and they recognized that and pulled me out and processed me a little bit earlier, and actually allowed me to sit down in the chair. But again, they did violate my civil rights by making the arrest to begin with.
So they were courteously violating your
rights? Yes, yes. I was
respectfully.
Respectfully?
They were respectfully.
For those of you that are...
Every time you buy something or don't, you're casting a vote. Every time you buy something or don't, you're casting a vote.
That freedom ring and that freedom ring and
this empire has been created without most of us realizing that it's been happening. And I think that's extremely dangerous. We claim to be a democracy, and yet a democracy is built on the premise that you have an informed electorate.
that freedom ring and that freedom ring and that freedom ring and that freedom ring and that